Hey everybody, this is Country Echoes. Today I'll be showing you my new African fat-tailed gecko setup. So, my African fat-tailed gecko's name is Mocha, and I have decided that I should probably provide her with a nicer looking cage. So far, all of my animals, except for my gargoyle gecko, who's still in her juvenile setup, have very nice looking cages. So I thought it was time to give Mocha a very nice cage. So, the two probably one of my two of my favorite parts of this new setup are the two live plants in the tank. So I have a plant over in the corner of my room. It's a adult pothos, I guess you could say. It's a mature pothos, and you can make cuttings from pothos plants, and they will, after a month or so, produce roots and become their own plant. And this cutting right here, this larger cutting, was actually one of my first two cuttings I made, and it's got a big, huge root system, and it was actually kind of growing out of its container, so I needed to put it in a larger pot, so I placed it in this little piece of wood. It looks really nice. And then this cutting over here on the left, there's a little bit of glare, but you can see it, is another cutting I just took today, and it's got 3 leaves, and it's got a bunch of nodes on it, which are where the roots come out. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, a node. And I place that in the dirt, and hopefully it will develop roots. My substrate is still the same, but I love this substrate a lot. It is Reptibark with a little bit of sphagnum moss. Eventually, I'd like to mix this around with some Eco Earth to give it that final touch, like I did in my vivarium. In my vivarium, I had a 50-50 ratio pretty much of Eco Earth to Reptibark, and it looks really awesome. But for the time being, this looks good. And then I just placed random pieces of cork bark, which always make your cage look better. I'll give you a closer look in a second. And you might have just saw that, but something that I really like about these pothos plants, here I'll give you a closer view, is that they hold these water droplets. And my gecko will be able to lick the water off these leaves when it's thirsty, to get some hydration since I took out the water dish. I've got this piece of Mopani wood, I think that's what it's called, and that can doubles as a piece of decor, and it can be used as a hide. And over in the far right, I've just got a piece of cork bark, and in the back, I've got a piece of cork bark. And right here is the main hide. It is the moist hide and warm hide at the same time. The heat pad's right under it, keeping Mocha at about 85 to 90 degrees. And I've got moss, and I spray down the Reptibark under there about every morning. And I found this giant bag of gravel I had from my Firebelly Toad tank project that I didn't even know existed. I pretty much forgot about it. And what I did is I dumped just like a really tiny handful, not even a handful of these pebbles into the tank just to kind of give it a more natural look. Might be able to see. There's one right there. There's not many in there, but there's a few. So let me give you a better look. So get this out of the way. So what I did to make this look really natural and create a good pot or sufficient potting for this plant is I just got a little piece of cork bark that I cut. I placed it in the corner, filled it up with Eco Earth and some Reptibark, and placed sphagnum moss over it and stuck the cutting inside of it. And hopefully that'll produce some roots. And pothos are really hardy, so I would expect this one to produce some rooting. So that's it right there. And this one over here, like I said, has already produced some roots. And I used the dirt from its original pot as well as some new. Oops, I need to take that off. This thing right here used to be right there facing its normal direction, and there's a hole in the back, so I put that piece of paper there. Show it. Should have taken that off earlier. So I just placed sphagnum moss, then the layer of dirt. You can't see it, but there is a lot of roots that developed from that one cutting. So all in all, I think this tank looks really, really nice, and I hope Mocha enjoys it. So I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you for watching Skunk Echo. See y'all later.